Hello everybody and welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. It's finally here! I'm so excited. I'm so hyped. I really wanted to play it the day it came out, but I was at work and then I got home and fell asleep immediately. And then, I had work the next 2 days after that. But it's Monday. I'm recording this right before I'm posting it because I am very good at not procrastinating, definitely not. But either way, we're playing it now, and I'm very hyped. My plan for now is for this first video, playing until we reach where we left off in the demo, because I did play the demo. So we'll see if we can reach that point. And then that means in the next episode we'll be playing all brand new stuff, probably. So let's see. New game. And I have an idea. First things first, we're going to go with risky. Intended difficulty for those happy to be challenged. Broken dice cannot be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. I'm not brave enough for dangerous, so we'll just go with that. Now let's see who we have class-wise. Last time in the demo we went with operator. There's also extractor. And there's machinist, which is what I did in the first game, I think. So machinist sleepers are built to repair and modify automated systems used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skills allow them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Oh wait. So, focus configuration, accrue stress to focus on an action dice, +2 and lowest focus dice, -1 stress on focus die, positive outcome. But not a lot of engagement. Operators, sleepers, are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are physically more fragile than other sleepers. The reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice, a risky but potentially powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. +1 stress, reroll lowest dice, which is pretty good. That's what we did last time. Extractor. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the coal face of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Extractors have a high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. And then the skill would be rally. So I actually think I want to go with extractor, because I feel like last time in the demo we were having a lot of trouble when it came to, stuff like engage, endurance, because the people who we have on our contracts, at least at the beginning, are kind of like scrawny little guys. So while we were doing a lot of good with the engineering, I don't think we had a lot of endurance on our team, or at least that's what I remember. But this is also the only class I haven't really played yet. So we've seen operator a little bit. We've seen machinist when I played it in the first game, and they're going to be different in the second game. But with what I remember from the demo, I feel like we need a mom friend, so I'm gonna be the mom friend. I'm gonna try and keep the crew alive, keep them safe, and try to not die in the process. So that's why we're gonna go with extractor. It's time to be the mom friend. Here we go! Now this isn't the demo. If we die, this is really impactful. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it the first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives: the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something's wrong. Something is very wrong with you. "Wake up, sleeper," the voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped, you remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, SNRP, in search of a future. You can't remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes. Oh, I forgot about that. And your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes with a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. "Sorry to interrupt," a sharp smirk, "but this ends here." You search your mind for more than a name. "Is this how you reward me for my generosity?" Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. "I took you in, I protected you, gave you a purpose." You try to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. "But I suppose that wasn't enough." He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. "This wasn't enough?" The vial glitters. The object you know, and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. "But it would be wasted on you now. After what you've done to this body of yours," he looks at you with palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it gains Lane. "They're free, you piece of shit! They don't need you anymore!" The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try and understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. "Shut him up," Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from somewhere else in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. "Free, are you?" Lane smirks. "You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed." He scans your body with angry eyes. "Now you aren't free. You're just broken." "I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you." Lane grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move. "But you've ruined all of that." Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. "I'll try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation?" You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. "I will burn that out." "Oh!" Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body and then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. "Hey!" He waves a hand in your dazed face. "We need to move. Lane won't be out long." He unloops a cable from around your wrist. "Sleeper, help me out here." You blink slowly. "Do you know this person?" He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on!" He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Oops! Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you're out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. This has got to be so overwhelming for the poor sleeper who don't know what's going on. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, sleeper? He wipes sweat away from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? Just ruin his day. You see a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. Reboot. He's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process, and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be that far. Whew! You are led through the passages and serviceways of the station. You try and recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. It's just like a vague sense of deja vu, isn't it? It's like, I know I'm from here, but I don't know anything other than that. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. So we left one cage and we're in another. There, your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye, and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips away. What was that about? He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphin, all right? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you, to break your dependence on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. I know some stuff. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and... He sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. Now is not the time for questions. I've got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. That's a lot of knowing. I don't know anything. Seraphin kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads! He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. That is so funny to imagine, though, because this is supposed to be like some mobsters chasing us, and they just are kind of like floating mid-air through the air, like, towards him. It's not like a sprinting fast out of breath chase. They're kind of just like floating. Stop right there! And they just keep floating. You wait. Hang on, tutorial. You wait a breath, then glide across to the door they were guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Okay, during scenes, you may encounter skill checks where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later, skill checks have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on the check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section of the pause menu. Gotcha. So we have hack the door, which could definitely go bad, because we're not the hacking type, or break the seal, which has a 75% chance of not fucking up. So we'll do the 75% chance. Yeah! Neutral! You shift the open central access panel and wrench it open. You scan over the mechanism, looking for a weakness. Somewhere nearby, you hear more shouting. You reach in and grab the main latch, straining as you bend it outward. The seal releases, and you drag the door halfway open. It screeches in its metal frame as you pull. Go, go! Seraphin flies past you, through the doorway, into the docking tunnel. You turn and see the two guards approaching fast across the docks, and quickly glide after Seraphin. Seraphin is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open, and you both rush inside. Quickly, Seraphin grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You can see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on! The rig's drive rumbles to life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. We made it! Bye, suckers! Just kidding, we're still not out of danger. Ooh, rolls! Not bad, actually. We can work with those. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphin burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. Troubled, stubborn, on the run. I like that for you. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked the ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. I'm just gonna stay quiet. I feel like even me speaking will make him sad. He shakes his head and then unclips from the pilot's seat. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, is just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that follows through the walls of the ship is followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly. He sighs. We keep running. We gotta keep going. Seraphin nods. And that's what it feels like, right? Though we can never get far enough away from that shithead. You see a shiver run through him and know that he has suffered as much as you did under Lane. We've brought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there are plenty of opportunities here for us, if we could keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. Slap. This bad boy can fit so much fuel in it, but unfortunately we used it all. So, we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, Sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections, people that might throw us an easy contract. You, glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. You have no faith in me. Low profile, got it. Seraphin stops at the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into his sleeve. I don't want you passing out in... He stops. It'll take both of us. Seraphin sighs. I hate it when you're right. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just pull up the damn hood, would you? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphin nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. Well, what else do we have? He gives you one last look. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. That's really sad. He's like got a big brother character and now he's gotta look after me even more. Because I don't know what's going on. Maybe I would have been more helpful if the reboot hadn't been fucked up, but I'm definitely very confused. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo-chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station, for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. We're definitely gonna try and take it slower than last time, at least when it comes to the contracts, because we nearly died in those. Specifically the second one. But it's okay. And with that, he's gone, leaving it to the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. Think about Seraphin, think about Lane, make a plan. Think about Seraphin. It's hard to know what's going on inside Seraphin's head. Here he is on some hapless escape plan with a friend who can't remember a thing about him. You try to imagine how close you must have been for him to agree to this thing, but it's painful to think about. That's all gone now anyway. All you can do is move on. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into the port. At least Seraphin has a moment to himself. It's not only safer for us to be alone right now, since they're looking for two people, but he probably needs a moment to process all of this. Okay, welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. The game runs in cycles during which you can perform actions with your dice. Use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guide section of the pause menu. I will. Let's see, we still don't have a lot going on here. We have the Hexport docks, the rig. Let me check on this. The rig is your ship and home in Starward Belt. While the rig is docked at the hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks, use dice to reduce stress. Galley, use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is in the dock at a hub, your crew will also help to gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. You can choose which resources they should focus on in the crew task menu on the left. They have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of the following cycle. Good to know. So we can scavenge for cryo, scavenge fuel, store supplies. The clock is a cycle clock. It will progress towards an event each cycle. Its completion will trigger significant events. On the run. You've put some distance between you and Lane, but you're sure that he'll close the gap as soon as he's able, which is just great for us. We're definitely not in major danger right now. Alright, what about right here? The Hexport docks. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will succeed in an action, but your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right and will reduce or increase the value of a dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcome it has. The more dangerous an action, the more significant both its rewards and consequences are. To assign a dice or item, click plus drag, and click the start action. I wonder if we'll be able to raise these with like skill points and the like we had with the drives last time. Maybe we probably really need that, especially considering my skills right now, especially into it. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left, you can upgrade your skills to improve the skill modifier added to your dice when you undertake an action. Oh, we can, yay! To the right, you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active at once. You can configure which upgrade is active only while at the hub. So let's see. -1 crew stress unless full, +1 to affected crew dice, -1 crew stress unless full, -2 crew stress if full. Oh, so if full. That's a good one. So that's if full. Push affects both crew dice, +1 to affected crew dice. Gotcha. So this is all crew stuff. Like I said, we're the mom friends, so we're gonna use this to support our crew in tough situations. We can take a little stress if it means fixing a job, especially if someone has, like, into it, and that's what we need. We can push, and then be able to use a better role with them. What about Hexport exchange? Trade scrap. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up components. It's an engineer's job more than a trader's. Okay, so this is where we can... The exchange buzzes with the conversation of commerce. This is a place where contracts are found. You just need to look. So we can get contracts there, and then over here... Connections. Explore the docks, chat to crews. I say we do a little nudge in both of these sides to look around. Aw, geez. You just progressed a clock. Clocks track your progress towards both positive and negative events and can be filled by performing actions or by the passing of cycles. Okay. Let me do a nudge over here to... That... Ooh! Let's put that over here. Ooh, nice! Okay, new location discovered. Export trade hall. Let's see, we could buy fuel, fill fuel, buy supplies, fill supplies. Nice, nice, nice. That would be very useful indeed. Let's finish this one, because I think we can. We'll use our 100% positive roll. There we go! You've established a presence here, and the brokers seem to be a little more comfortable around you. New location discovered. Num-nums? Canteen! Okay, here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy and stops you starving. Different foods give different amount of energy. We have just enough food for that. Let me see if I can get a good roll over here. I don't know if I want to risk the one. But this is like a 75% chance. So we'll chat to the crews. Ooh, nice! A crew welcomes you enthusiastically and gives you a quick tour of the docks. And this is 50-50. What's the worst that can happen? I say, scared. Ugh. Okay, well, we just lost some energy. It's okay. You've used up all your dice for the cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to re-roll them. Spotting you are a sleeper. The crew shouts across the docks at you. You give them a wide berth. Okay, well, see, we still learned. We learned who to avoid. Oh, what's that? Ooh, another spot. Ooh. Ooh, we can get money here. SNS is a space gambler game played with custom magnetic dice. Chits are stashed in symbol-marked cans, and the winning is ruthlessly luck-based. Wait, is it like Space Yahtzee? Ben's Fry, a plastic bag of flash-fried salt-fleck tubers. The Ben's Fry brings spacers back to the scattered tables of the bar cycle after cycle. I want some space fries. Nice, not bad. We also have the warehouse. The warehouse at Hexport docks supply the industrial operations of the station, meaning they need constant loading and restocking. Not right now. I gotta go to sleep. Ooh, okay, rig, galley. Supplies are typically safe for contracts, but when food isn't readily available, you've got to do what you've got to survive. That's not what it said, but it's basically what it said. I don't know why I said that. Rest and recover. Sometimes it's necessary to rest, or at least try to. In the compact bunks of the rig, this will help you reduce stress when not on a contract. So when we have time, we definitely need to sleep when we can. But for now, odd jobs would be good. I'm trying to think. What did we have the most trouble with last time? It wasn't fuel. It felt like we ran out of supplies a lot because we were stuck out there for a while, so maybe we should try and source supplies. I think that's something Seraphine can work on. So we'll do that, and then we will end the cycle. Oh? Hello! Oh no. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphine leans into the bunks as you're getting up. I imagine he's just been leaning there, and he was just waiting for me to start moving so he could start this dramatic monologue. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor toward the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes, and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphine is a silhouette, silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphine inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? Fuel pipes? Seraphin shrugs. Close enough. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. And before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. Let's not be accusatory. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty. Otherwise, he shakes his head. It would have been bad. But he pushes this pipe from side to side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to local region only. He thumps the large, lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it? Seraphin sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphin whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. We'll need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So how about you try to track them down? I'll take a look for things here, and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out? It's on the other end of the station. I can take a look. We both have our jobs to do. And I've kind of explored a lot already. Seraphin keeps working. Wait. Seraphin pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. Shit. You said it, Seraphin sighs. Which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improve a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. Yes, sir! You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphin's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines, that's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. I've got this! You've discovered a drive! Drive help you keep track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. The arrow button on the top left opens the drive menu where you can choose which drive to track. Once a drive is tracked, a yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to that drive. Drives come in two types, major and minor. On completion, a major drive rewards 2 upgrade points, with a minor rewarding 1. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available and track those you want to pursue. Good to know, we also have the rig engine now. Fuel's engine capacity is extremely limited, but new feed lines would allow you to hook up a reserve tank to increase it. Good, we need that. Escape Hexport. Toggle tracking. Let's track that one. Lane is hunting you, and Hexport isn't far from Darkside. Refuel, repair, and find what you need, and then leave before he finds you. That seems like a good idea. We did not... Oh! We did find supplies! Nice! Good job, Seraphin! I'll remember the buttons eventually. New location. Factory Row. Ramshackle Fabrication Center. So we can search the row or haul materials. I do have good endurance. So we could use this and save our good roll for something else. Nice. Ooh, and that got us money. You understand the code system used to assign supplies and make a rapid delivery. The other haulers pass on part of their earnings. Thank you. And one more time, hopefully. Nice, luck was on our side. You have a little trust with the factories. Now the trick is not to waste it. I won't. Factory Row howls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there's an energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way, because of Darkside. The place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it is hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them. Tubes just like those Seraphim waved in your face. The feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit, marked Karsten Supply in block capitals cut from hull plate. There, amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components, sits the feed lines, like some large biochemical tangle of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench, hunched over, concentrating. It seems he doesn't notice you enter. Hello? A sharp eye glints as the figure looks over his shoulder. Intimidating shipfitter. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines, how much? There's a sharp clink as Karsten places his tools and the component against a magnetic plate on the wall. I wish I could do that. Just like, oh shoot, my pasta, and then just like slam my phone against the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features do not betray the results of his assessment. He definitely knows I'm a sleeper. Custom built those, for a client never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs then? He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. Let's just be confident. I feel like if we say, I think so, then we already look like bad. That's right. Karsten nods. Well, it's good to see one of those still running. Look. Karsten drifts over to where you're standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, he continues in a distinctive monotone, let's say few hundred cryo, on clean shits. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. 400? Wasn't it 500 in the demo, or am I remembering wrong? Either way, I could probably do that. 400, Karsten says back, repeating your question without the emphasis. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they're worth. He screws up his mouth a little, into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. Karsten nods sagely. There's little favor I need crew for, and well, you look like you might be good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of old Solheim wreck out there. Very old, pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. He shrugs. Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by unfamiliar ship, so it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. He smiles. I have special interest, need for old tech. All those Solheim ships had data core. And while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on that damn thing, I do care about hardware. So, if I was to find you back here, with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. Karsten pauses, sniffs the air again. You just need the coordinates. Let's do it! I know this isn't going to be as clean cut as we want it to be because I've played the demo, but I feel like asking questions will just make him annoyed with me. We're probably not going to give it to him anyway. You didn't hear me say that, Karsten. Alright then. He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Karsten pulls you closer, squeezing your arm. Let's keep this one between us, alright? He half smiles, his face huge and close. It's our deal. Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm. Those coordinates. And then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air, Karsten having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach, and the cacophony of Factory Row in your ears. Contract. Seraphim might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind in possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide she clearly just came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using your shoulder. Sorry. She smiles a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Karsten, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Why didn't you tell me? I caught on to you before, Junie. I catch on to you again. She glances back towards Karsten's. I guess he forgot. He does that sometimes. She looks sheepishly at you. He just grabbed me after you two were done talking, so... Karsten's always sending me on things like this. I guess he wants me to help you out. Keep an eye on things. She pauses. I can be pretty helpful. So, she looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship and you can tell me when you're ready to go? Yeah, sounds good. Why not? I'm probably gonna give you the data core anyway. I really want to see what happens if we do that, what data she might get, or if it amounts to nothing. We'll see. Okay, great! Her eyes light up. She notices she still has her hand on your shoulder and takes it off. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, she calls back as an afterthought. I'll just let her go. You watch her disappear down the passage. Things are getting complicated already, but at least you have a contract and a way to get the feed lines. Junie clearly works with data based on the gear she was lugging around, which might make her useful when it comes to pulling out a data core. But the question is, what does she get out of it? And why didn't Karsten mention her sooner? You consider your options as you head back towards the rig. Karsten didn't mention her because she's not part of it. I caught on last time too. I don't know about this, sleeper. Seraphin looks nervously out of the rig's windows as you finish explaining Karsten's deal, as well as Junie's offer to help. I thought you'd be proud of me, Seraphin. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars. And there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head. What choice do we have? I mean, I know we can make the money if we've, like, really knuckled down. We could probably do it, but, like, come on, man. What if... Seraphin narrows his eyes. We could get the cryo together to buy the feed lines. Is that even possible? I found a contract board at the exchange further in station. He gestures towards Hexport. We take on a job? That might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten's job, a bit of money to get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, be ready for whatever comes. Do we have time? Probably not, but without cryo for fuel and supplies, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphin sighs. Just take a look at the contract board, see what you think. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew, too. Seraphin shrugs. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around. We take Karsten's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seraphin yawns. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, I've still got work to do on the drive. Seraphin nods a farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. What if we did both, like we did in the demo? For a moment you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Ugh! Suddenly you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight, your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift, as if some connection is broken. It's almost impossible to describe, like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. And then another shift comes and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb, then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain, a disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation that you'll have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. That's not concerning whatsoever. You've unlocked a contract. Open the map screen to view it. Alright, map. I'm the map. Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs that you and your crew can take on. Contracts require preparation and care to succeed. You'll need to gather enough fuel to travel the contract, gather as many supplies as you can to afford to keep you and your crew going. Look for opportunities to recruit crew temporarily or permanently to help you on contract. Consider which crew to take carefully, they have different skills and stress resistances, and who you choose can affect the story. Once you're ready, you can select the contract from the map and then your crew to proceed. Alright, so Carson is offering you a straight barter for the feed lines, and if you bring him the data core from the Derelict, any raw scrap you pull out is yours. So we need 3 fuel, which we don't have, and I would like to have full supplies, but I would also like to do the under contract if we could. But that'll probably be open still next time, right? Because we're not gonna get enough money. So maybe what we do is I don't know, let's scavenge for fuel for sure. Let's get that set up now. Because we need that. I can probably buy some too, but I don't have a lot of money. How much is the fuel? Ugh. I mean, that's not too bad. Supplies is worse. What's this? Contract board. Ah, nice. And then why is this blinking? Oh, okay, this is, more money we can get. Sell raw scrap, too. Nice. Okay, so that's stuff to think about. We also have the contract board. Conway signal. Station management have located a Conway signal. They are concerned to see one so close and are looking for someone to disable its source. 200 cryo for that. That would be very useful. This open contract for Hexport administration requires a fee to be paid to receive the coordinates of the job. Let's do it. I'll still have enough money. Well, I'll have about enough money to fill up on fuel. So I can always do another odd job around, and then we can leave and do the Conway signal first. Get some cryo to build us up, since we know we're probably not going to give that thing to Karsten, and then fill up the ship again and leave for that job once we have food and supplies. And this time we'll be more careful. Make purchase. There we go, we've got the contract. You've paid the fee on this contract, you need to complete the job. Hexport will pay you in return. Money, money, money. Why is this blinking? Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have the money for either of those. Alright, odd job real quick. Let's see. Okay, Swift Scrap Solutions, or Triple S as it's known locally, is a chaotic and slightly terrifying scrapyard where open shifts are always available. I wonder why. I'll still do it, because I have a +6. Ooh, good money. 12 cryo. That's enough to fill up the ship. So let me do that right now. We'll fill the fuel all the way. Fuel capacity filled. I only have 9 cryo left. I could buy some tubers with that. Maybe I should... Do I have anywhere I can work that would give me pluses? I don't think so. Nope. it can't go any lower than that. But it's really trying. Okay, I can chat to crews again. Oh yeah, I never opened this up all the way, did I? We'll risk it. What's a little bit of energy? Well, it's probably need it, but whatever. It's fine! There we go. You have a good sense of this humming way station. Time to use that knowledge to your advantage. As you are gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation, drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alleyway, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab at the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Seraphin told you to keep your head down. Could rush in, or I could cause a distraction or wait it out. Ah, last time I caused a distraction, but I don't think I can do that this time. I'm gonna rush in! Yay! Without thinking, you kick off and glide down the alley, nudging the parabola of your drift, so you slam directly into the back of the most aggressive assailant. The impact sends them into a steel wall, and as if on cue, the figure under attack lashes out at the nearest body. He swings his bag in a crunching arc that sends his targets tumbling head over heels back down the alley. The next moments are a blur of impacts as you grapple in the alley, kicking off from pipes and panels. A few seconds later, a call signals the assailants' retreat, and they flee, shouting curses at you and the figure. We just beat the shit out of them. You steady yourself, and a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. Am I supposed to be impressed? The man gives you a skeptical look. You like to throw yourself into fights you have no stake in? He laughs. Belt's gonna eat you up. How about a thank you? The man's eyebrows shoot up. You think I needed you back there? He tuts. You're the weirdest one I've met, that's for sure. I can't argue with that. You watch the man go, and then after a moment, he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal, anyway? He sighs. Maybe you're new here, but Hexport is no place for do-gooders. I know what it's like. To get beat up? The man shakes his head. Hexport's got real rough. Look, let's not hang around, alright? The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check that you're following. Then he stops at a docking bridge connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out at the viewing window at its odd, catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two different hulls welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Femi, you bringing in strays? A young woman, brightly dressed and stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Nia. Femi shakes his head. This one? He squeezes your shoulder. Helped me fend off some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Nia raises an eyebrow. I'm sure you could handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. Nia turns to you. Thanks, she smiles sweetly. And I'm sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glance. Just in general. Nia, Femi murmurs. Enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm gonna load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. He turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He slaps the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Nia looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking, or did you really help him? I tried. Thank you. She looks back at the ship. My brother needs more help than he admits. It's okay. She pauses, thinking. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath, then gives you a direct look. What is she building up to? Are you looking for a crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like... Well, if you're on Hexport, maybe you are with a crew. She stops herself. I mean, maybe your crew needs a crew. Maybe you're looking? Why do you ask? Nia looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest. Being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he is suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know, but he still sees me like one. She shrugs. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? I'll think about it. I'm a good salvager, all right? You could use me. She smiles. I could spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arm across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Just consider it, all right? Let me prove myself. Suddenly, a shout comes from across the ship, echoing down the passage. Femi. He makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last glance as she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. New local crew available, 1 upgrade point, minor drive complete. Well, I do know from playing the demo that if we take her, she's going to take some of our stuff. Like, we're gonna have to pay her, but like, isn't that fair? Let's look at our upgrade points, by the way. Can I upgrade into it? Oh, I can never upgrade into it. Okay. We need 4 upgrade points for that. 2 for this. I think we'll hold on to them for now. That feels like a after we get the fuel lines type of thing. Okay, so I'm gonna munch on some food real quick. If I have money. I don't have money. I can get some tubers. There we go, I have a little bit of energy in me. We have 3 supplies. Do we think that's enough? Do we want to wait an extra day? I mean, we have time. See if we could source supplies now that we have fuel, and then we'll go. I think that's a good idea. Because last time, I think losing all of our supplies was what fucked us over. So let's go to bed. And then we'll see what tomorrow brings. Maybe some more supplies? Yes! Okay. And we've got some good rolls, so I'm going to... First things first, let's go here. We're gonna do some scrap jobs. Because we've got good rolls, and this pays the best right now. Or at least that's what it feels like, and we need money. We really need money. And... there we go, there we go. Okay, and then go to the trade hall. We're going to buy one. We're not gonna do that. It feels like a waste to like get, if filling supplies and buying supplies is the same amount, then it feels like a waste. 15 cryo just for one? But I really don't want to risk it. Better safe than sorry. We can make more money. But we can't if we die. I'm just being cheap. Here, we'll do some freight loading to finish that off. Well, that didn't work out well. I tried. Fine. Okay, now we'll go. Oh, I need to eat anyway, so we'll do that, and now we'll go. I think now's the best time to do it. We have a pretty good amount of stuff. We're nice and full. So let's map. We've got Conway signal. Station management has located a Conway signal. They're concerned to see one so close and are looking for someone to disable its source. It'll take 2 fuel to get there, 2 fuel to get back, so we should be good. Confirm vector. Let's get our first contract in. And we can't bring you, but we will bring you. That means we will lose some cryo, but I think it's worth it, because I feel like if it's just me and Seraphin, it's gonna take longer and it's gonna be risky, so let's travel. I don't mind. I mean, in the future, we're probably gonna have to pay other people, right? Pay other crew members, so we might as well get used to that. And plus, look at her skill. That's Intuit, right? I don't have Intuit. No, that is Intuit. We definitely need her. Especially since I don't have any skills in Intuit. We need Naya to come with us. Come with us. Travel to contract. Off we go! It's a drone. Ooh, good rolls. Seraphin spots the signal source first, the light barely shimmering off its dark hull plating, a design trait that betrays its covert use. A flash catches your attention, and you see a rent in the hull, through which red lights pulse. Wounded. Seraphin shakes his head. Wish they'd finished the job. You've seen one before? Seraphin looks back at you over his shoulder. We've seen one before. Don't you? He sighs. Sorry. I know it wasn't your fault. He looks at the drone. Lane had us work on one in the Darkside Bay, though it was barely a shell. Disarmed and deactivated, he had us search through its guts for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and it had its core ripped out. He pushes the ship closer. This one is still alive. Conway. Nia hisses her teeth. Corporate scum. You glance over and see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. She shakes her head. Typical core-bred cowards. Run into them before? She glances at you. You might say that. She looks out at the drone. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Seraphine carefully glides the ship closer. You watch the drone. The system is full of these things now, running missions for their operators. Rare to see one out in the belt, though. Maybe it got hit during a run-in with the Senate stat mercs. Looks like it's drifting. Most of the system's blown out, but look there. He jabs a finger towards a red light on the far side of the drone. It's still broadcasting. Maybe even receiving. Can it attack us? Unlikely, Seraphine smiles. Would have blasted us already if it could. Oh, yay! Comforting. Neo looks nervous. Seraphine brings you ever closer. What I remember from the dark side job is that the central core and the broadcast array need to be shut off to kill these things. Core will turn off the local systems, and the broadcast array will sever the link with the Conway operators. Seraphine swallows, but you can bet those systems are protected. I'll let Seraphine explain. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. This thing is rigged to blow, Sleeper, he frowns. We go slow and careful, and we don't touch anything we don't know about. He turns back to Nia. You hear that? I got you. She looks sincere. Seraphine brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through the open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head down to the airlock to prepare. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system, the war that this drone was driven from. Out here on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the system might, one cycle, bring the war with it. For now, the belt is outside of its reach, but looking out at the red pulsing drone, that doesn't give you much comfort. That could change any day. That's terrifying. Oh, they got pretty good rolls today, too. That's good, I'm glad. We need to go slow and carefully. I feel like I pushed it too hard during the demo. Bad rolls can be useful sometimes, but in situations like these ones, I feel like it might be better to wait an extra night than use something that could get us killed. Welcome to your first contract. While on a contract, you will be able to assign 2 dice for each crew member, as you would assign your own dice. Pay attention to the crew's skills to use them effectively. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. When their stress is full, you will no longer be able to use them to perform actions. While on a contract, your energy bar will automatically be supplied for each cycle that you have available supplies. When your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. Contracts also have their own contract stress. When this bar is filled, the contract will fail. Good luck. I really like the contracts. See, rigged to blow. We don't want to do that. So hull damage, exposed drone interior. Let's see. Might be possible to slip through the gap in the drone's damaged hull, but once inside, where to go, how to find the broadcast array. Okay, so that's into it. Create opening. There's a gap where the drone sustained some damage. With a lot of effort, it might be possible to pry away the plates and create an entry point. That would be my job. Access hatch. Reprogram hatch. With the drone in such a reactive state, ready to fry itself in defense, perhaps reprogramming the hatch to open up your crew is the best approach. Release the hatch. Drone is in a delicate state, and any damage could cause it to trigger its self-destruct. It will take skill to release the access hatch. None of us are really good at interface. I'm the only one who has some engineer stuff. I think our best bet might be to try and create an opening, because both of us have something for this. There is this as well. The drone's damage provides a lucky access point to the broadcast array, which will have to be disabled. Okay. Can we work on both? You can't work on create opening, but I can work on this. Let's see. I was already thinking that. Don't be cocky. I'll take this. Let's start with this. There we go. And then Nia, do you want to identify a route? I can see the angle here. Yeah, if we go back and forth, we might be able to work on this a little bit. Yeah. That was a fun one. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. We might be able to break through this one right away. I want to be careful with this. Let's see. Oh! During a contract, you can use your push ability once per cycle to give you an edge in a tricky situation. Pushing accrues 1 stress, but will give you a key advantage based on your chosen class. You can see your current push configuration if you hold your mouse over the button and on the character screen. Your push cannot be used at a hub, but when at a hub, it can be upgraded and configured in the character screen. We don't need to push right now. I'm worried. A 5 is pretty good. I'm worried if I push, then it'll lead to a worse roll. Ooh! But that did go bad. There's a route here between the hull plates and thick cables, but it's full of dead ends. Okay, so a little bit of stress on that. Did that even do anything? Oh, it did, but it was only 1. Okay, so we might need to have Seraphin help us with this one. Alright, Seraphin. Just show me where. You got this! You got this! Ah! The negative outcome. Of course it was. Alright, we're not gonna push it. We're gonna rest. Okay, we're not safe, so we can't even recover. But we can go to sleep. No energy loss. We'll end the cycle. We'll push further tomorrow. Even the 4 was not good enough, but he doesn't have any skills in that area. Oh, Nia! That's so bad, Nia! It's fine, I got it. Hopefully. Well, it's positive or neutral. The only thing that could happen is I get stressed. There we go, we made it in. You hear the bleeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the drone's interior, something has started counting down! Guys? Nia's voice comes hissing through the suit's comm channel. Does anyone else hear that? Because I'm getting nervous. Shit. Seraphin's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. Are we screwed? I can't be sure. Seraphin has dropped his voice to a whisper, as if that might make a difference. Either this thing is about to send out a distress call or it's about to blow. We've got to shut the system down fast. He pauses. Then we move to the other side because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there too. We good? Nia sounds tense. Am I heading back to the ship or what? Seraphin cuts in. We're good. We keep going. He shuts off the channel. You take a moment in the silence. Alright, time to deal with this fast, then get over to the other side before something happens. Okay, we're on the clock now. Drone death. Disable the core. Shut down the broadcast array. Once both are done, the convoy drone won't be able to bother anyone anymore. Array disabled. Oh, none of us have good stuff with this, but Oh, no! Oh, no, this is bad. None of us have interface. We just have to go for it. Oh, you've got to be fucking with me. You just gain some stress. As your stress increases, you will have a higher chance of taking damage to your action dice each time you roll them. I have no choice! Oh my god! Oh my lord almighty, Seraphin, please! Oh, we're so fucked. We're screwed! We literally just need 3, and I haven't gotten any at all. Oh my god! Is this because our skill is missing? Can we just not do this? Skill required? So we're just fucked then. Interface skill missing. Oh, that's what it is. We literally can't do anything. So we're screwed. We're fucked. We're literally fucked. None of us can do anything. Well, let's go to the other side. Let's go to sleep, I guess. We're so fucked. This is going bad. God, I should have picked operator. I didn't realize this would mean that nobody had them. Taking damage to the dice because of stress. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if you take damage or not. Higher stress means a higher chance of damage. The white markers above the stress bar tell you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. Each dice has 3 dice health. When this is depleted, the dice will break and must be repaired to be used normally. When at the hub, you can reduce stress at the rig bunk's location. Markers above the stress bar show which dice rolls will damage the dice's health. The layout of these markers depends on your difficulty. Gotcha. Well... So we literally can't do anything on this side. So we need to make sure we have people with everything, I guess. This was all a mistake. This was a big, gigantic mistake. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. We just need to leave. I'll just have to push and push. Is it the same over here? Yeah, their skill is missing. Does that mean they'll always fail on these? I don't know. Ugh. We're gonna fail this contract. We're literally so screwed. Can we leave? Contract incomplete. You cannot leave a contract that is in progress. Once the contract is concluded, either through success or failure, you can return. Oh man, Femi's gonna kill me! Well, end cycle. I should have stuck with operator. Dang, if only we could take Junie. Oh, my dice are so bad. This is all bad. Oh. I guess let's check. Oh, no, they do work. Okay. So then can I stop this? I probably can't. We're probably screwed either way. Well, let's find out. Oh, now you want to work. You sure about this? Nope. Mistaking me for my brother. Please, no, Nia, please. No. Ugh. Yay! One side. That was way too close, and we're still so screwed. One more mistake and we're done. And none of us have good. The only one who has good skills over here is me, and my dice are damaged. Okay, so we freaked out a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's end the cycle. We just need to break through. Okay, okay. That's fine. That's good. I can work with that. There we go. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, control system. Okay, disconnect backup. Nia. In the core, you see the drone is running on backup power. Disconnect that carefully, and you'll be one step closer to full shutdown. Okay. Nia, it's all you. There we go. Pretty slick indeed. Please, Nia. You literally can't fail. We did it. Oh my god, we almost died. Oh, my dice are so fucked, but none of them broke, so we can rest. The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone goes still for the first time since you boarded it. We're all sweating bullets. You look across at Seraphine and Nia and share a smile. You all exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of Conway shit to worry about, Nia grins. We killed it. Barely, Nia, barely. One more cycle and we would have been fucked. Don't get too excited, Seraphine cuts in. It was looking pretty rough when we got here. You make your way back out to the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction, its stabilizers offline. Nia catches up with you as you glide towards the rig. We make a pretty good crew, Sleeper. You know what? We do. Nia grins widely. She punches you on the arm playfully. Ow, Nia! I'm so stressed out. I just start crying. We've been through so much on this one contract that then one little bit of, like, joking violence and I just break, just sobbing. You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hole. It catches the light as it rolls in the vacuum. At some point in the near future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt, spread across the place of twinkling dust. The thought pleases you. As does the thought of all that cryo Hexport now owes you. Time to go collect. Let's get out of here. The contract is concluded. You can leave via the map. Get out! Get out! Get out! You can now travel back to the hub. Once you leave, you will not be able to return. Leave the contract? Yes! -5 stress during travel. Thank goodness. Oh, no! My dice! One of your dice is broken due to losing all its dice health. Broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. No! I thought I was away! I thought I was good! After docking at Hexport, Seraphin lets go of the controls and leans back in his chair. Nia leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper. She stretches. I know you took a chance on me. Thanks for helping. Nia smiles an infectious smile. Feels good to make a contract work, Seraphin smiles, no matter how we pull it off, which was badly. It's hard not to agree, and it feels better when the Hexport courier comes with a lockbox full of chits. Lane may still be hunting you, but this should help the effort to slip his net. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice. Nia. Femi glides into view, approaching from the docks. He fixes you with a stare. What are you playing at, Sleeper? I'm not gonna say back off. Nia wanted to come. It was her decision. You go to speak, but Nia drifts forward, cutting you off. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I can make my own decisions. She glances back at you. Sleeper took me at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? He turns to you. Well, if you're working for Sleeper, I hope they paid you well. Nia looks away. Well, I asked, so... Femi smiles. Oh, so they aren't paying you? Seraphin crosses his arms. Let's keep this civil. You realize this is the first time he's meeting Femi. If we're being civil, seems like Nia is owed her share. Femi fixes you with a severe look. Alright. I was gonna pay her no matter what. You grab around a corner of the chits from the lockbox and hold them out to Nia. She takes them sheepishly. Alright then, Femi smiles. We're good here. He turns to leave. Nia mouths a sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Seraphin watches them go. You sure know how to pick 'em, Sleeper. He shakes his head. Turns away and heads along the docking bridge. I just hope we aren't going to end up with a stack of cryo short when we need to get out of here. We have time! Which is good. Oh! You just completed a drive and earned an upgrade point. You can push upgrades. You have push upgrades available. Go to the character screen at the right to see them. I will. Let's see. -1 crew stress and less full. We could do that for a push. That could be useful. Or +1 to affected crew dice. Maybe. I do have 2 points. I might hold on to them. But we have a really risky contract coming up. I need to rest first. I can't have my other dice breaking. Let's scavenge for fuel, because we probably need to rest a few cycles. 172. I need some EP time. I need some EP time. Reduce my stress. Please, I'm so tired. Little bit more? Negative? No, thank you. I don't want to risk it that much. Okay, yeah. That was bad, but it's okay. We still can do it. We could do the other one too, maybe? And then I'm going to rest one more time. Please work. There we go. Okay, stress is gone. But we're still missing a lot of dice, and I'm just gonna sleep through this cycle. Oh, he scavenged for fuel. Nice. I'm just gonna sleep through the cycle again. I'm so tired. Seraphin. Okay, there we go. Ah, we really need... How much is the workshop? I need the workshop so bad. Alright. Well, let's see what we could do. I can work here very quick. Just get a scrapyard shift in. Okay, lost some energy, but I got some cryo. We'll fill up on supplies. Buy some fuel. And then we can go out again? Do we really want to risk it? I mean, I literally can't fix myself, I don't think. We don't have a workshop. Oh, no, oh, fill supply, oh, okay, so it's 15 each. Okay, so we had to do the 15 no matter what. We'll do it, we need the supplies. How do I, when can we get the workshop? We'll switch to ob jobs for now, but do we risk this? I don't know. It's dangerous. Especially when 2 of my dice are broken. But can we make enough money by then? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I kind of screwed this up already. That went really bad. We might be in trouble. I really need to get some interface. I need those upgrade points. We might just have to go for it. And just try not to lose all our dice. We can try. Are there any more contracts? No. Fuck it. Let's try. What's the worst that could happen? Well, I know what the worst that could happen is, but we're gonna do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We're in so much trouble. This went really bad. We might have to screw over the kid. We might have to say no to Junie and just take the feed lines. We might have to. I don't think we have another option. There's no way we can make the money we need. Even if I get 3 good rolls, that's only 36 a day. So we could risk it. Or we could go... Fortune favors the bold? I bought the stuff, we might as well try. What's the worst? Well, like I said, I know what the worst that could happen is, but... Oh, they have interface! Okay. We will travel to the contract. Confirm! Okay, good. The Solheim derelict fills the cockpit windows, all twisted plates and skeletal strutwork. You watched in horror and fascination as Seraphin completed the approach, both of you silent in the presence of this decaying beast. Now, as you settle beside it, Seraphin is the first to break the silence. This thing is already dead. He shakes his head. It's a corpse, Sleeper. He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. I touch the thing too hard, it'll crumble to dust. Let's not do that, then. Seraphin does a little mock salute. Aye, aye. He rolls his eyes. Any other tips? Get good rolls, please, for the love of God. Take us up there. That's the bridge. Junie points towards one end of the ship, and both you and Seraphin turn around, having forgotten she was in the cockpit. She hasn't said a word since you departed. She glances at both of your bemused faces. What? She looks away. Sorry, that's where we need to go. She stops pointing. Seraphin nods towards Junie. She's not wrong, Sleeper. The bridge would be a good start. Last time I assessed the wreck, we broke something, so to the bridge. Seraphin nods and brings the ship under control. Let's do it. Seraphin takes control of the ship, avoiding the debris field closer to the center of the wreck. He settles in position near a protrusion at the far end. This is as far as we'll go. Seraphin taps the anchoring controls. We should be able to anchor the ship to those plates. Oh no. You hear Junie begin to protest from behind you, but it's too late. Seraphin fires 2 python-tipped anchor lines at the nearest solid hull plates. Ugh! The python slams into the plates, and despite their solid appearance, they instantly shatter. The fragments spin out across the wreck, slicing into other plates and building a spiraling storm of debris. Shit! Seraphin nudges the ship back and steadies it as the debris cascades across the surface of the wreck. The damage seems mostly superficial, but it underlines just how fragile the derelict is. Let's not do that again. Junie glances between the two of you. The data core will be very fragile. We have to... We've got it, Seraphin snaps. He angrily unclips from his seat. Last thing I need is a backseat driver. He kicks off and glides past her into the corridor. Sorry, Junie. No problem. She smiles a weak smile. We all want the same thing here, right? We'll work it out. That's a lie. You want something else. You follow Seraphin down the passage with Junie close behind. As you reach the airlock, he's already angrily suiting up, his frustration evident. I feel like that will just make him angrier to say keep your cool. I'm just gonna stay silent. The rest of the preparation process takes place in tense silence, each of you considering the delicate job ahead. You sit up too, though you don't need a helmet to breathe. You slide one on and lock the seals for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core should be near the bridge, maybe even inside it, but there's a lot of wreck here, and there might be good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on and the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out at the vast expanse of the twisted hulk before you. Time to go to work. We might want to try and scavenge. It might be a good idea for us to scavenge if we can, just because we really need the money, but, okay. Find an access point or clear cargo doors. We can do that. 2 and 2 knock that out right away. What about this? Corroded airlock. The airlock on the derelict is rusted shut. Opening it is necessary to enter and investigate the wreck's bridge, so this is probably where the other one is. Force the lock. Lock dissection. The only one who could do that is me. Into it. Depressurized bay. Let's see. Cargo entry. Or... we should probably start here. Because we've got some positives. We've got some 100% positives. Smashed it indeed. There we go. Junie, you're kind of not helpful right now. I will do a little bit of a nudge over here. Just because I can plus this up to a 6. So that's 2. But I don't want anyone else to mess with this. I mean, I can up this to a 4, but there's still a negative. And I don't know if I'm willing to risk that. Not when we're 1 away from things starting to break. We will wait. We're already very, very, like, in a bad situation because of what I did on the last contract, so we will end the cycle here. We are running short on time. I really think I might have to betray Junie. I don't want to, but I might have to. Alright. You'll force the lock. A little bit more, no big deal indeed. And I will see about working over here. Just 1 positive or 1 neutral. There we go. What's going on in here? New location discovered. Map the bays. Countless vast bays extend from here deep into the derelict. Scanning and mapping each one allows you to navigate them safely. Scrap survey. Okay, so we could use this to look for scrap. The only one who could do that is Junie. Do I want to risk this? We'll risk it once. Okay. Risk it twice. See, this is where I start to fuck up because I'm getting too bold. Okay, okay. No more. The other two of us who have very bad rolls right now aren't going to fuck with anything. No. We rest. And we hope for good rolls tomorrow. Okay. That's alright. It's okay. It's not the best, it's not the worst. The important thing is we could do this over here. Okay. Slowly getting better at that. But we can, over here... Lock dissection. You can force the lock, but that's a 75% chance of something going wrong. So let me take care of this side. Alright, and then... Okay, we got it. We got it. The bridge of the derelict lies silent. The pale beams of your suit lamps catch rows of terminals and clouds of glittering dusk. Wires wave like seaweed, and the whole scene appears as if underwater, chaotic but still. Junie glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you by surprise as she does. She's been a stoic presence so far, but in this moment she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch as she bats away debris and begins checking terminals. I'm gonna let her work. She is already prying an access panel off one of the more intact-looking terminals, and as she does, puffs of rust color the vacuum around her red. I'm an approach. She turns back to the terminal and finishes prying off the plate. Then, quickly, she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hand comes back with a waving cable topped with a thick connector. As soon as she sees it, she slips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and slots into the connector. All of this happens in a few seconds, the routine practice and precise. It's hard not to be impressed. Nicely done. We'll see, she says, so quietly it seems mostly to herself. Junie's fingers dance across the deck's keyboard and a burst of static lights up the Solheim terminal screen. A sudden burst of light and color takes you by surprise. Junie's fingers tap away, the terminal screen flashing with blocks of color and lines of code. It buzzes and vibrates, its long-dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then, all at once, it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit! Junie hisses beneath her breath. Unless... You can't tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. What are you doing? She looks up at you, as if she was just waking from a dream. Looking for something useful. She pauses. Useful for the contract, that is. She glances down. A map of the ship. Plans. You know. The cradle with the data core can't be far. She pushes off from the terminal, gliding away from you. I'll start looking, she calls back, and heads to the other side of the bridge. Seraphine glides up beside you. Everything all right? What do you think of Junie? The kid? Seraphine shrugs. You'd know better than me. Keeps to herself. He squints at her retreating form. Seraphine stretches in his suit. I have to admit, it's nice to be back working, especially now that we're the ones who will reap the benefits. He claps you on the shoulder. Feels good to be taking our fate into our own hands. Are you sure? We're doing a really bad job, Seraphine. I know it's pretty rough there back on Hexport, and out here we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as find the damn data core, but aren't you glad we made a break for it? He pauses and looks down, having asked the question almost by accident. I mean, I am. I just don't want to speak for you. I'm glad too. Seraphine smiles. You better be. I didn't give up that little dark side cupboard I was living for nothing. He laughs at his own joke. Look, Seraphine checks his suit's wrist seals. Once we've got a bit of space behind us, once we've gone the distance, if we even manage to get that far, he furrows his brow. Don't feel you owe me. I'm no charity case. You want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. He meets your eyes. Just do me the favor of telling me to my face. I will. I don't want to promise that it won't happen, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I will tell him to his face if we need to go away. Seraphine nods but doesn't respond. After a moment, he shines his torch out into the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You watch the glittering dust as it eddies in the beam. Seraphine sighs. Let's get to it. You watch as he crosses the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners. You feel a chill run through your body as you imagine the crew that once ran this ship, the Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like here before the collapse, when the system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. That history is lost to you now. All you can do is pick what you can from the ruins. Okay, so now we have the derelict bridge. Track the pathways or reboot the system. Oh man, this is gonna take some time. Do I want to push? I don't think I should risk that. I don't think I can. What about scrap? Can any of us mess with that? No, only Junie. Okay. Then we rest again, I guess. This is getting real close. Oh, we're gonna have to fuck over Junie. I mean, she's lying to us. I say, coping. Here, Junie. You want to finish that up? There we go. Now can we get scrap? Okay, nice. I could do that. Extract some scrap. We'll wait. Let's see what we can do over here. Tracking pathways. I'm the only one who can really do that. You can too, though. It's just dangerous. Okay, nice. This is probably gonna take some time. We're just getting not good rolls, and it's really struggling. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. We need 4 good rolls. Man, it would be nice if I didn't have 2 broken dice! My own fault. I whine, but I did it to myself. Do we want to risk this? No. If we could grab some scrap, that would be great, but I feel like no matter what, we're not gonna get enough money in time. We have to screw over Junie. I feel really bad, but what choice do we have? If we even get back in time. Oh, these dice! Oh, Seraphim, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Seraphim, you go first, because you have the good rolls. There we go. That's how we do it, indeed. Oh, we got a little stressed there, but it's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're still good. There we go. Cracked it, indeed. Here we go. 50-50. There we go. We found it. Did we? Oh, fuck. We gotta get into the core. Forgot about that part. And the only one who could do it is me and Junie. Okay, the core's fragile, but by rerouting the data connections from its cradle, it could be lifted free without damage, at least in theory. One way of getting the fragile core out is to physically cut it free, slicing each connection individually, though the potential for damage is high. I could slice it, but there's negative chances with that. We might have to risk it, though. We can risk it, right? I can't risk it, but you know who can? The person who's not about to have all of their dice be broken. No! Alright, we rest. We rest. We're so screwed. Lane's gonna catch up. You've now used all your energy and are starving. While starving, you gain 1 stress per cycle, and any energy loss accrues stress. Eat to regain energy. I don't have food! And we don't have any scrap either. We're literally just, we have to take it from Junie. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I don't want to. Oh, right, okay. I could do this side. There we go. And then... do we want to risk it? We have to. We have to. We have to try. Just one more. No. 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 We have to rest one more time. We are in so much trouble. We're in so much trouble. Ah! My dice. Okay, everyone's stressed out. It's okay. We're about to get it. But before we do... Wait. Who needs to do the extraction? Junie can. But that's so mean. Okay, hang on. Everyone else will grab scrap, and then I will do the extraction. Grab some scrap. How much is scrap worth? Oh, the contract stress has triggered a crisis. A crisis will add 1 contract stress per cycle, unless it's resolved. Oh, so extracting scrap is not a good idea? It's fine. How much is scrap worth? Not enough for us to not take the core. We have to take the core. I'm sorry, Junie. It has to be done. It's either that or we die. You watch nervously as Junie guides the core out of the cradle. Ooh, extract the core from the Solheim derelict cleanly. I wouldn't call that clean, but I'll take an achievement. A large ball, almost half your height in diameter, it glides up out of the framework that held it, connections waving loose and cut. Her breathing comes through the suit's comms, loud enough to be picked up, and it fills you with tense energy as you watch. Over the course of this job, you've seen Junie both focused and distracted, nervous and precise, but you have not seen her any more confident than in this moment now. She floats beside the data core, handling it with care and skill, as if it was the vast egg of some endangered bird. She glances up and sees you watching her, and you notice something unfamiliar in her eyes. Something you've perhaps seen in a passing a moment before, only now that it is no momentary lapse or change. It is set in place. You see determination. She guides the core a little away from you with one hand and at the same time comes forward, almost placing herself between you and her prize. And it does seem to be hers in the way she handles it, the possessive way she screens it with her body. We need to talk. The statement comes flat and deadpan, any nervous tremble gone. Right now. What are you doing? Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I want to be honest with you, but I need to know you won't take this from me. Junie glances around the cradle defensively, but Seraphine is already heading back to the ship to prepare the cargo bay for the core's storage. You two are alone. Tell me and we'll see. Fine. She folds her arms. But it's staying with me. No, it's not! Karsten doesn't deserve this. This treasure, Sleeper. Junie glances over her shoulder at the core. Do you know how many of these are left intact? She shakes her head. And all he wants to do is wipe it clean so he can use it to interface with Hexport. All that data, gone. So what do you want? I want to extract the data from it, to make use of it. You see some genuine emotion flicker in her eyes. I'm sorry, Junie. She sighs. After extracting the data, the core will become unusable. There's a security system that will fry it if the data duplication is attempted. I can delay the security response long enough to copy the data, but after that, she trails off. You've done this before. She looks down. Yes. She meets your eye. That's why I came. Look at this place, Sleeper. She gestures to the cradle room, a dark and twisted cavern of long-dead tech. How many of these places are left? How many chances do we have to recover anything this old, this fragile? Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow, in their ruins, and yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here when others like them, like Senetstat and Conway, are descending on this system? What can we learn from this core? I don't know, Sleeper. That's the point. She gestures around herself. We could learn our history and how this system was settled. We could better learn the technology we build our lives on. We could uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make amends. She looks at you with pleading eyes. We could see beyond survival, towards something else. You've never heard Junie speak like this, and you realize what you've taken for nervousness is actually control. This, the person in front of you defending a decaying data core with their life, is the real Junie. But then you think of Lane, of the price he likely put on your and Seraphine's heads, and of the feed lines, without which leaving Hexport would be almost impossible. Is this even a choice? I'll explain the feed lines, see if that helps. I don't remember what she says. Junie listens carefully as you tell her about the deal with Karsten, the feed lines he offered, and that both you and Seraphine are on the run. Then I'll help you. Junie doesn't flinch. We find another way to get those feed lines. Junie, we're out of time. Karsten is an idiot. I can hack his security and you can pull them out of there, or... Seraphin looks tough. Maybe we could grab them? She looks desperate. We can do it. We can do something. Why should I trust you? Junie sighs. Let me be honest with you. I don't work for Karsten. He didn't send me. I might have misled you there. I knew he knew where the derelict was, and I heard your conversation. I've been keeping an eye on him. She pauses. I know I lied, but I can help you. Let me strip the data from the core, and I promise to help you get the feed lines. She meets your eyes with intensity. It's a lot of information to take at once. You need a second to think. Oh man. I don't wanna take it from Junie. But, oh. We are not gonna make enough money. But I also think we're fucked. I think when we go back, he's already gonna be there. I think we're out of time either way. We ran out of time. He's gonna find us. Oh. Let's do it. I can't. We're so dead. Either way, we're so dead. We might as well go out with a bang. Thank you. Junie looks genuinely moved. This is a gift to all of us, Sleeper. I hope you'll see it like that. I'm gonna die. Junie looks at the data core, quickly gathering one of its loose connections. She takes out her deck and plugs it in, then crosses her legs and places it across them, floating tethered beside the core. Her fingers begin tapping at the keyboard, teasing out the core's data and whatever Solheim secrets it might contain. As she does, Seraphin enters. He braces himself in the entryway. What's she doing? Junie doesn't seem to notice. Emptying the data? She's doing what? Seraphin jumps to attention, but you put a hand on his shoulder. He eyes you suspiciously. I hope you know what you're doing, Sleeper. No, I don't. We're gonna die, Seraphin. He nods towards the core. That's our ticket out of Hexport. Junie will help us. If you say so. You both turn to watch Junie stripping the core of its secrets. A little while later, once the core has been emptied out and its defense mechanism has scorched its seams black, you watch the metallic sphere spinning gently in the room, and wonder if you just made a terrible mistake. Contract failed. I think I did make a mistake, but what can you do? Because I think we're about to find out anyway. Might as well see if we could get some more scrap. We're gonna go back to a mess. Just for the lulz. Just for the lulz. Ah! Oh no. There's a horrifying lurch. You're spinning through the bay you were crossing in a hail of debris. You watch as the side of the bay silently tears open in front of you, a gaping black maw, toothed with flying debris. You stare into it, your breath heavy in your ears, your eyes wide. Suddenly you feel a tug on your back, your tether. As you spin back from the sudden arrest of your glide, you see Seraphin holding on to the other end, reeling you towards him. We have to go, Sleeper. His voice comes urgently over the comms channel. This place is done. But the scrap! The scrap! You both make your way through the spinning derelict in silence, charting a path through what were once passages but are now twisted tubes, like the intestinal tract of some dead creature. Eventually you make it out onto the surface and find the rig still tethered but gashed with debris and scars. You and Seraphin exchange concerned glances. Going to pay for this. He looks over the damage. Let's hope she still flies. I have fucked us over so much. Seraphin, you would have been better off running away without me. You tether together and push off from the hole, Seraphin guiding you through the debris. Below you, the derelict is exploding in slow motion, tearing apart in a swarm of razor-edged shards. I sure as hell hope Junie's going to come through for us, Sleeper. You hear Seraphin on your private channel. Because if you gave her the core for nothing, then this contract was the biggest waste of time I've ever seen. It's gone. Junie's voice comes through faintly over the comms. She must already be on the ship. Thankfully, we got the core. No shit, Seraphin answers back. Contract's a bust. What a waste, Junie says quietly, and then the channel clicks off. You arrive at the rig's airlock and bundle yourself inside, noticing the exterior damage. It looks mostly superficial, but it will no doubt take a toll on the ship. Once you're back in the cockpit, you look out at the derelict's shattered form. It seems you will be its last visitors. Off we go then! Woohoo! I have fucked over everyone! And now we go back and we get in trouble, because I'm pretty sure Lane is already gonna be here. Why did I do that? I meant to leave! Contract concluded. Woohoo! Oh no. As you arrive onto Hexport, Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. We're going to have to act fast if we want to take those feed lines. You and Seraphin exchange glances. You both are still getting used to this new Junie. We? Seraphin raises an eyebrow. Only one of us fried the core and stole all of its data. He shoots you a look. And for some reason we let you. I also blew up the ship, and you let me do that. So if you think about it, we all messed up in this situation. We can make this work. What I'm wondering, Sleeper, is why we have to. Seraphin looks infuriated. I don't think Karsten is going to take kindly to the idea that we brought someone pretending to work for him on the job and let her have his prize. He scoffs. He points at Junie like she's an object. Do you even know what she's up to? Junie looks between the two of you. Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Karsten is probably ripping you off. Even if you get enough cryo, who's to say he won't raise the price? Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here, and he ran me in circles. She shakes her head. Seraphin is watching her closely. Even if I do take your word, which, given everything, seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raises an eyebrow. You're telling me we just drift in there and take the feed lines? Look, I get it. You don't trust me. She pauses. But what if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't feel much like hanging around waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in all this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. She allows herself a smile. See where I'm going with this? Seraphin sighs. I don't like it. He pauses. But it makes sense. What do you think, Sleeper? We all get something. I definitely... We all fucked up. Right, Seraphin? You totally fucked up somewhere, I'm sure. You did fuck up! You crashed into the ship! So, if you think about it, we all fucked up. I definitely didn't screw everyone over. So, we all get something, and we're all at fault. Exactly, Junie smiles. Let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work out a plan. She glances between the two of you. Trust me, we can find a way. We keep it simple, clean. Let's get to it. I think we're out of time either way. Okay then, Junie smiles. Trust me, this is going to work. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Let's leave for Karsten to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. Junie unclips from her seat, floating. I want to show you I can be trusted, that we can do this. She looks between the two of you. Believe that, please. And with that, she slips away down the passage towards the airlock and Hexport beyond. You look at Seraphin. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. He unclips from his seat too. Either this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get out the other side, or it's the kind that you never escape. Either way, we're in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic lights of Hexport and wonder if anything in the Starward Belt has ever run smoothly. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, we were out of time. So even if we had taken the core, we wouldn't have been able to do anything with it. So I don't feel that bad about giving it to Junie, because we wouldn't have been able to get the feed lines. Seraphin wakes you gently. Sleeper, we're out of time. He checks the door to the bunks and you hear a faint banging in the corridor beyond. He turns back and meets your eye. They're here. We have to go! Quiet. Seraphin holds up a finger. Why do you think I'm waking you up? They've locked the ship into the station. Seraphin grimaces. We can't release the docking bridge. Our credentials are being refused. We're trapped. A sudden banging echoes through the ship. Seraphin looks away towards the source of the sound. I don't know if they know we're here, but they certainly want to get in. He shakes his head. I reckon we have minutes before they get out the cutting torch. We're screwed! Not yet, Sleeper. The feed lines are a bust. They aren't going to happen now. Our best chance is to burn out of here as fast as we can and hope our drift takes us to a station than when we run out of fuel. He sighs. At least we might live a few more cycles before we starve. About that. Problem is we need to release the lock Hexport has on us, otherwise we aren't going anywhere. Seraphin looks down. And I need to pilot the ship. So what I'm saying is, I have to release the lock. Exactly. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He gives you a dark look. There's some big manual release levers inside the docking bridge itself, but to get them, you're going to have to go through the airlock. He swallows hard. And once you do that, you'll need to get back in as the docking bridge releases. He grimaces. If you mess it up, you're likely to be sent spinning into the black. That's our only choice! Apart from coming out with our hands on our heads, yeah, that's our only choice. You nod. There's nothing else to be said. Time is up, and this is what it has come down to. I'll be at the controls, waiting. Seraphin gives you a nervous look. The moment you're back in the airlock, I'll burn hard. He clasps you by both your shoulders and looks you in the eye. Then, without saying anything, he releases you and glides out of the room. You drift down to the airlock as quickly and as quietly as you can, slipping into a suit for protection. At least you think, as you secure the seals, you don't need to breathe. The banging subsides and you hope the hunters have left, even though you know this is only the quiet before the storm. You take a moment, waiting inside the airlock as it cycles. The second the exterior begins to open, you go. As you dash out of the airlock, the scene in front of you appears as if it's in slow motion. You see two figures a little way down the docking bridge wearing dark spacesuits, a canister being carried between them. Meanwhile, floating between you and them is the heavy-duty cutting torch, knocked spinning by the open airlock door. You see the released levers in yellow hazard stripe just beyond the hunters. You know you're lucky, and you know you only have a moment to make your move. Rush for the levers or cut the bridge. It's the same either way. I don't know. Cut the bridge! Fuck. What's wrong with me? You change the plan, ignoring the levers, and instead reach for the heavy-duty torch, but you misjudge the distance, and instead of grabbing the handle, you push the torch away. It spins down the tunnel towards the hunters, their hands going to squat black shapes on their hips. You dart towards the cover of the docking bridge's wall as you feel the fizz of projectiles slicing through the air around you. The hunters are firing. A scream blocks out all sound, and you feel an urgent pull tugging you away from the ship. The tunnel bends sickeningly and then snaps. You realize in that moment that Seraphin has started to burn and is attempting to break the bridge by force alone. You and the hunters spin in a hail of debris, scraps of metals, and chunks of bridge dashing against your suit. You see the hunters retreating into the station's side airlock and realize this is your chance. A chunk of tunnel wraps around you and you plant your feet on it before kicking off towards the rig. The debris slices at you, cutting your suit away and then your thick skin. Your vision flashes with warning signals and you feel a distant throbbing pain. You're carried onward by a hail of projectiles that zip into your body from the direction of the station, their impact shutting off whole sections of your frame. The final faint things you feel before you lose consciousness are the impact of your body against the interior wall of the airlock, the hiss of the cycling system, and the heavy weight of the ship in full burn. Oh my god, everything went wrong! What the? Seraphin's quiet question wakes you from your haze as the rig cuts across the belt. You try to move and feel a wave of flickering pain pass through your body. You flinch and steady your nerves. You find yourself strapped into the seat of the cockpit. Seraphin doesn't seem to have noticed you're awake. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come out. There's a crackle of noise that echoes through the ship's comms. Seraphin is glancing nervously at his console. Something has him spooked. Sleeper. The voice, as distorted as it is, cuts through you. Lane. Oh no. I know you're there. A hissing pause. You're slipping away. A squawk of noise. But we can't have that. You don't understand why Seraphin isn't reacting to the sound of Lane's voice. Then you realize he can't hear it. The voice is in your head. I take this personally, Sleeper. A sharp intake of breath. After all my investment, all my care expended on you, this is how you repay me. I see a little something glinting out there, Lane continues. Could that be you? You don't move. You don't breathe. All you hear is Lane's voice. Something shifts in you, a sudden impetus, a will to move that is not your own. You unclip from your restraint, drifting towards Seraphin. Seraphin looks over his shoulder and sees you. You're up. He looks surprised. Take it slow, all right? There's a transmission coming out of Hexport. Some kind of evac order? He turns back to the console. Let me check this. You keep moving forward. Something isn't right. You don't feel right. A numbness grows in your body, your fingers flexing without your input. You reach out towards Seraphin. No, not you. Something reaches out to Seraphin through you. He turns to see you reaching for him, grasping at his neck. A tension flickers in his eyes. Fear. No! A hissing silence, then a rumbling blast. All at once the rig screams, systems seizing in electromagnetic paralysis. All at once the rig shifts, carried on by some shockwave of life. Pain, then darkness. Ah! What's happening? Oh! Glitch? What? Voices echo warmly through your mind. You can't quite make out what is being said, and any attempt to focus causes the growing flare of pain. so you let them fill the air, unidentifiable and soft. You're floating, and so you cannot yet feel your body or its weight. The feeling is pleasant, soothing, and yet the moment you realize this, it begins to fade. Pain shoots through your system, a reminder of the terrible damage you've suffered. It is bright, white hot for a moment, and then it's gone. Something spasms across your fingers and you flick it away. A sensation crosses the sole of your foot and you kick your leg. A weight settles itself on your chest. You're awake. You open your eyes to light playing across the surface, patterned with stained cushioning. Where am I? Oh no, am I back? Unknown, where am I? You're alone. The voice is replaced by the hum of air cycling, the distant clank of maintenance systems. You're alone and this is not your ship. You jerk upwards against the straps that hold you loosely to the berth, suddenly confronted with the last things you remember, an overwhelming numbness, and below it, an insipid animating force creeping through your mind. You pull free at the straps and free yourself, floating up into the small habitation room, cushioned and worn, your mind racing. What happened? You search back and remember only Seraphin's shout, the sudden acceleration of the rig, and then darkness. A chill runs through you. Cold light fills the room, and you float over to the dark square of the window. You see stars, the bright pinpricks of drive trails, and skeletal docking bridges. This is a station. A sudden hiss draws your attention to the door, which slides open with a puff of equalizing pressure. Oh! The entering figure jumps as they see her awake. Wait, Bliss? Oh my god, that's Bliss from the first game! The entering figure jumps as they see her awake. You're up. They hesitate in the doorway. Where's Seraphin? Your friend, right? They laugh nervously. I'm not sure. Get it out a while ago. I'm Bliss. They shrug, not sure what to add. Your friend, Seraphin? Is out. Sorry, he brought you here. Can you prove it? They look confused. Not really? They laugh. This is my room. They glance around. Not much, I know. We're in my repair bay, on the far spindle, if you know where that is. How did I get here? They look around the room again. Come on, let's go somewhere a little more comfortable. They hold out a hand. You're safe, don't worry. You follow them out into the corridor, gliding behind them. They move with the ease of someone who was either born in Zero-G or has spent most of their life in it. Hey, they have! I can't believe it's Bliss! It's so good to see you! They guide you to an enclosed balcony where heavily scratched, thick acrylic windows look out onto a chaotic-looking wet dock. At the center of the dock is the rig, scratched and worn, but still your ship. It's a reassuring sight. Is she okay? She will be when I'm done with her. Bliss sees you staring at the rig. Took some damage, but she's a hardy old thing. Yeah, all that damage definitely happened. During that part that you found us in, I had nothing to do with that. There was no explosion whatsoever that I caused. Your ship. Bliss pauses. You were lucky I heard your distress signal. You sensed they were holding something back. I guess that expensive long-range array I was tricked into buying finally paid off. They laughed to themselves. Well, at least for someone. You were out cold when I got there, and have been for all the cycles since. Your friend wasn't in great shape either, but he bounced back fast. I make a habit of doing that. Seraphin! Seraphin's voice makes you spin around. Good to see her up. He can't suppress his smile. Are you okay? He smiles. Don't start fussing over me, Sleeper. I'm good. I almost choked you out, Seraphin! Your eyes fall on Seraphin's bandaged abdomen. He notices and pulls his jacket over the wound. Certainly looks better than when you came in. You should have seen... Bliss abruptly stops after Seraphin glares in their direction. Here. Seraphin pulls a few chits out of his pocket. Catch. He slings them over to Bliss. That's all I could get for now. Working in your condition? Seraphin sighs. Please, I'm fine. Then why are you hiding it from me? Maybe because I choked you out. You know what? Sorry. Bliss looks at you apologetically. I know what it looks like. I'm sorry. I can't work for free. Keeping this place going is bad enough. I get it. Seraphin nods. We're just thankful you towed us in. We aren't freeloaders. Bliss looks between the two of you. I'll let you two catch up. They turn to you. I'm glad you're awake. We were worried. They pat you on the shoulder and glide back down the corridor. With Bliss gone, silence descends on you and Seraphine, both of you unsure what to say. Are you sure you're okay? Seraphine appears annoyed, and after a moment, his expression softens. I'm surviving. He looks away. It's going to take a while to heal. That's what they tell me. No heavy lifting, etc., etc. He shrugs and flinches a little at the pain. What do you remember? He looks at you with concern. Lane. I need to tell you what happened. Seraphine grimaces at the mention of his name. Lane? He shakes his head. Seraphine looks out at the rig. He takes a breath, steeling himself for what he has to say. Hexport is... He clears his throat. It's gone. He flinches. What do you mean, gone? It's gone. Seraphine catches your eye. Dropped off the map. No signals apart from the ones sent from fleeing ships. He frowns. I don't know what happened. No one does. What happened to Junie? Your mind skips, unable to focus on the information you've just been told. You think of the constant activity of the bends, the rumble of Factory Row, Karsten, Junie, Naya, Femi? Gone? By the time Bliss reached us, we had drifted out of range. They couldn't have seen it go up, but I saw a sleeper. Something exploded, white hot. He rubs his arms, suppressing a shiver. A moment later, the shockwave was on us. The rig was crippled, engine kept firing, but guidance went offline, sending us arching out across the belt. He drops a hand inside his jacket, pressing against the bandage on his side. I managed to get her under control, but not before we started spinning. My restraints came loose, and you weren't even strapped in, so we both got scrambled. He smiles a weak smile. Felt like being trapped in an auto wash. He turns back to you. I'm impressed you made it, to be honest. A flesh and blood human would have been smashed to pieces. He goes silent, the image a little too raw for him to continue. Could it be to do with us? Seraphine shrugs. Your guess is as good as mine. He squints. Would Lane do something like that? Doesn't make any sense. But neither does what happened with me. I mean, Castor controlled the sleeper in the first game in a similar way, but I don't know. I mean, I definitely fucked up extremely badly throughout all of this first bit of the playthrough, but would Lane do that? I don't know. But I don't know much about Lane either. I don't know. Conway, maybe? Who knows? Utsubo is a gang. They run Darkside. They don't go around blowing up stations. All anyone is seeing is debris and radiation. I picked up a lot of ship transponders before the rig went offline. Maybe some people got out. He stops, unable to add anything more. Oh, Junie. We both float in silence for a moment. So we lost our tail? Seems like it. He looks away. At least that shockwave would have burned our trail out of the belt for now. We already owe Bliss for the work they did on the rig, and it isn't finished yet. A few more cycles, I've been told. Bliss won't hold us hostage, but I don't like to skip out without paying, even if we could get the rig started up. He rubs his necklace between his fingers. Bad karma. Beyond that, we need work. Fuel, supplies, and we need to make sure you're okay. He counts off the issues on his fingers. I feel like we should still talk about why I choked you out. 'Cause, like, I need to explain. After that, he shrugs. I haven't heard of anyone coming after us, and if they did, they'd have to come through Hexport, or what's left of it. He looks away. The far spindle is way out of Lane's territory anyway. They called this the Belt of the Wash, and the stations here run differently to Darkside. So, for now, we have some freedom. Seraphine sighs. Freedom to go broke, starve, and get into even more trouble, that is. That is exactly what I did this whole time. In all honesty, I was hoping you might have some ideas. He pats you on the shoulder. Let's look for a contract, as if we've done any good with that so far. I have 2 dice to my name, and they're glitching. What does that mean? I want to explore. The far spindle? There's plenty to see. This is a free station. No faction holds control, so it's quite the circus. Just watch your step out there. Seraphine pauses and stares down. Look, Sleeper. He rubs his side. I'm not sure I can work right now. I just got kicked out of a salvage yard for passing out on the job. He looks away. Even with the pain meds I've been able to scare up. I can fly, that's for sure. He stares obstinately at the rig. You're going to need some crew if you want to do any serious work. He chews his lip. I'm sorry. You need to be careful. Seraphin nods. I'm trying. He turns away. I'm going to take a rest on the rig. I'm wiped. You look out at the rig as he leaves, the warmth and softness of your waking moments now feeling like a distant memory. Is this what you wanted? Freedom? A chance to work for yourself, not Lane? Well, here it is, with all the problems and complications you could imagine. And at what cost? Could Lane have wiped out Hexport just to try and end you? You shiver at the thought. But if not Lane, then who? Furies cloud your mind. Dwell on them. Could it have been Conway? A drone or mine drifting starward? Senate stat, perhaps, with some plan to weaken the Belt? Or a Belt faction attempting to flip the board by intent or mistake? The Belt had considered itself safe from the war brewing in the inner system, but now? Hexport's loss will be felt all across the Starward Belt. But what does that mean to you? Your needs are much more immediate and apparent. Those must come first. You run your hands along your body, feeling the marks and holes left by the hunter's weapons, and you know that in that moment you have been irreparably damaged by the encounter. You realize these scars are reminders. You will not be caught like that again. You swear it. You take a breath. Time to make a plan. Oh no! You've gained some glitch. Glitch is a penalty you gain from repairing dice and from Lane's attempts to hack your system. Your current level of glitch is represented by the glitch clock to the right side of your dice. You can have a maximum of 6. Each level of glitch you gain will increase your chance of rolling a glitch dice at the start of a cycle. Each time you roll a glitch dice, you clear 1 level of glitch. A glitch dice has an 80% chance of a negative outcome when used and a 20% chance of a positive outcome. That's really bad. Tracks your level of glitch and indicates if you have a chance of rolling a glitch dice. A glitch dice looks like this. Both of my dice are glitched right now. Oh my god! Everything that went wrong could have. Oh man. Oh, I feel like it was a mix of my own hubris and just bad dice rolls. I really thought picking the extractor would work in our favor, but I feel like I just screwed everything up. Oh man. That was painful. That was so painful. And now we're off all alone. We have Seraphin with us, but I don't know how comfortable he is with me if after— oh my god, this place is huge. I don't know how comfortable he is with me after, you know, what happened, and we're not talking about it. And Hexport blew up? I don't think Lane would do that. I know I don't know much about him, but I don't think he would do it to end us. He seems to have a vested interest in getting us back, or at least getting me back for my body. Because before Seraphin got us out of there, he was going to get rid of, like, you know, the sleeper and just keep the body, so he wants us for something. I don't think he would try and blow us up. But then that means there's someone else out there who's blowing people up. Oh my god. At least we have some scrap to sell, and maybe we could get the workshop and fix our dice, which are very broken, but then that means they might be glitchy. Oh man. We are so fucked. We're in so much trouble. But you know what? Part of me wants to say, let's start over and try and do better, but we live with the consequences of our actions, and most of this was my own hubris with that last dice roll when we were working on the core. This is my fault, and I'll have to own it. I don't know if all of this would have happened even if we had gotten the tubes. I feel like even if we had gotten the feed lines, we would have run into Bliss and everyone, but it probably would have been much less painful. But you know, what can you do? We have 5 scrap to sell now, and, Junie's probably dead! I hope she got out, but oh man. If she did though, at least we ended on good terms. I'm glad I thought about the fact that we were probably out of time either way. I'd hoped we would be able to get through that fast, but we didn't. So yeah. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. My own hubris definitely helped with that, and now we're out in the middle of nowhere and we need to figure out what to do next. At least we got to see Bliss, and we have some scraps, so there's that, but I'm also glitched the fuck out, so we need to figure out what to do. And it looks like, what's this timer for? A brief respite. We have to leave, put a barrier between Darkside and Far Spindle. Lane can't follow, so for now you're safe. Okay, so we have some time to try and repair and figure things out. Let's set this to source supplies, and then I think next time we're going to explore this station. We're going to see what we could do, see if we can find a way to repair our dice, see if we can sell our scrap, and generally just try and recover from all the insanity that was this one. I really hope Extractor comes in handy soon, because right now it seems to just be hurting us, but it could also just be me fucking ourselves over at every turn. Oh man. Oof. Alright, well, now it's time for rest and recovery, so we will end the video here. This is already really awesome. Even though I'm doing really bad and we are in a lot of danger, I'm having a blast. This is really fun. I can't wait to see how Glitch comes into play, and explore this new station and see where we go from here, and see what other contracts we can get. I'm very excited. I'm so happy I finally got to play it, even if it ended with everything going wrong. It's definitely that Chowder video. Oh no, it all went wrong! Let's see if we can make things right starting next time. Until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, don't let your hubris make your decisions for you, and have a good day.